All right, guys, thank you so much for coming here and listening to a little bit about me. I feel like a lot of people know me. Rob Genovese said earlier that when you have a face-to-face with me, it's kind of like going to a showcase anyway. I'm not sure if that was a nice thing or not.
It was a high compliment. Always fun.
But I tried to find some things that maybe you don't know about me yet, and some interesting things that are going on. Rob, man, if you would be so kind as to put 10 minutes on the timer for me and just let me know when I got 2 minutes left to go. See, I can't be the showcase person and run the meeting apparently, but I'll try. All right.
10?
10, yeah. And I think I said seconds, but I meant minutes. All right, so here we go. I went too fast. But anyway, so it was a really great graphic of a camera. So this is early me. Yes, this is the only picture of me, I believe, doing sports. And you can tell how young I was. But I look cute doing it. Other than that, I like to watch sports. I don't play them. I'm really a klutz and I break easily. So that's not something that's really big in my life. But I grew up in St. Louis, so I love the Cardinals and I loved going to the baseball games, and hockey was a huge thing and I got to do that too. So it's not that I don't like sports, it's that I just like to watch other people do them because they are much better at it than I am. This is my mom and my dad and me at 16. It is also the picture that they put into the church directory. And I personally believe it might be the reason why I'm a photographer today, because no one should be forced to have a photo like that for their memory books. It's just wrong. But I loved my mom and dad. I missed them terribly. This is where I grew up. So yes, I grew up in St. Louis. Everybody thinks of that pretty picture, but this is really where I grew up. I just pulled this house off of Google Maps last night. This is a picture from there. It looks exactly like when I grew up, which is really frightening. Colors are the same, pictures are the same. The Caseys lived in this house, and Mr. Casey had a blue truck, not a red truck. Trust me, that's not the Caseys anymore, but everything looks the same. This was my bedroom up here in the dormer. I lived there until I was 20 years old, and that was my life. And then I moved on. When I was in school, I really thought that this is who I was going to be. I wanted to be a famous artist, and I loved Impressionists. It was going to be Mary Cassatt all over the place until I found out in college that I wasn't going to do that because I wasn't going to make money at it, and I wasn't that good at it. And money was important because my parents had 5 kids. I was their last one, and they weren't paying for me. Someone had to. So I had to get a job. I loved my camera. I thought maybe I would be a National Geographic's photographer. And yes, Peter, I did put pictures in of a tiger. These are my photos. No, I did not take them anywhere cool. This was from the St. Louis Zoo. That was about as close as I was going to get to National Geographic, because you have to like sit in really cold places or go into caves or do really horrible things. And remember that sports conversation? Well, that's that conversation too. Not me. Wasn't going to happen. I also wasn't going to be a wedding photographer. Those were like guys in ill-fitted suits, smoking cigars, carrying like tons of stuff with them. It just wasn't going to happen for me. I didn't fit it. And I could not work for a newspaper because when I saw the car crash, I was going to help the person, not take a picture. So I would have sucked at my job as a photojournalist. So none of that was going to happen. And I really still needed to work. My first job at 16, yes, at 16, I worked for Wendy's. And that was my first uniform until they went to the all polyester zip up uniform, which no one should ever have to wear in their lifetime, but everyone should have to work in the service industry. If you have a kid, make sure they're working in the service industry, at least for some part of their young life, because they will get such an appreciation for humanity and they will never, ever, ever regret any other job they get. And then I moved on. I worked for MCI. I worked in their call center, and then I became their night supervisor. And then they brought in a new piece of software that nobody liked, but I thought was kind of fun. I just thought it was designed badly. So who knew that my art background and my psych background made me a usability engineer? They did. I started designing software. So I designed software for MCI while running the customer service department. I moved to Citicorp Mortgage, ran their customer service department, designed software for them. And then I decided to move out of St. Louis. I went to California. My first job in California was with North American Mortgage Company, but who cares about that? I worked for Rodney Strong Windsor Vineyards. I was in Healdsburg, California, and it was beautiful. I also designed software for them. So there you go. And then I moved to New Jersey. So from that picture to this picture, I've been in New Jersey for about 26 years and I do love it. And yes, this prison over here was my building, and that's Telcordia Technologies. It used to be Belcor. I designed software for them, but that was actually the first software I designed that went all kinds of places. So I got to travel and trade it. And I tell you, if you want to learn about being humble, design something and then have to build the training course for it and take it out into the field. Because when somebody says, who was the idiot who put that button there? And you have to go, me? You just learn how to stand up and handle criticism. Things I love, well, I love wildflowers, cats and dogs, and I have been everywhere in the continental United States except for Alaska. Have not done Alaska, but I did do Hawaii. I have been to Canada, I have been to Mexico, and I have been to Italy, but I am going to travel more because my loving child is 20, so I'm free to do that. Now, these are more of the things that I love. I love the shore. I love to read. I love chocolate. Actually, I love to read on the shore with chocolate, you know. And if I have anything in my world that I carry all the time, it's my camera. I started with it when I was 11 and I never put it down. It was my shield. It was my ticket to every party. It was my way to express myself. It gave me it allowed me to express my view on the world. And I really have never, ever put my camera down. It means the world to me. What you have not seen here is you have not seen the people in my life, because both of the people in my life have said unequivocally, stop taking photos of me. So at 14, that was the last time my kid said I could take his picture. Apparently I spoiled my child for any other photographer. I took too many photos. And I think if you're going to see my kid, it's going to be because someone paints my kid's picture, not because someone takes it. But my child is truly my reason why, and the thing that I love the most in the world. Someday, maybe I'll be able to show that to you again, but not now. I've been told no, ever. I will get in trouble. So what do? This is what I do now. A lot of you have seen the headshots running behind me. You can see them running behind me now, but this is really what I do. So I do take headshots, I do, but I create marketing images for people. I find out who you are, what you do, and how we can show the world what matters. So when it comes to your marketing, being authentic in your marketing is the most important. Having fun in your photos is insanely important. If you are working with me, if you're working with another photographer, if you're just taking pictures yourself, let the stress go. I know that's hard to do, but in this day and age, people want to see you, and they want to see you enjoying your life. They want to know that when they come to work with you, it's going to be stress-free. It's going to be fun. It really works. And yes, even if you are a divorce attorney or an accountant or someone who's dealing with really heavy things, you can be serious. You can show up as responsible, but you need to show up as you. You need to let them know who you're going to
2 minutes, Jean.
be. Thank you. I don't say this a lot, but I also do product photography, but inside product photography, it is usually when I am working with clients. So working with the restaurant, for part of their package, we were taking pictures. This was for an olive oil company. It was a salad that had their dressing on it. Clearly, this is a clothing designer. And I do love my food pictures. I did get my tip was in pastries when I was doing work for the pastry and pastry place, and that was really good. And I have to say, I do still have some things that I carry with me from those days when I used to be a family photographer. I can't give up on my first communion kids. I love them so much. My senior photos, I love working with high school seniors. I really, really love them. Debbie and Rob, I would have put your son in here, but you didn't pick your pictures yet, so I didn't think it was fair. I do work with animals, and I do photos for people who want to break into the acting community or modeling. And a lot of it is with kids that want to be models, which is so much fun. And that lovely little girl in the lower right side is Miri's daughter, Isla. And she came and played with me, and we did one of the fairy photo shoots, which is very special. The child shows up, we look for fairies, they never show up, but when the pictures come and they see the pictures, the fairies kissed them and gave them wings. I love it. It makes me happy. Something I rarely talk about, if ever, is from that corporate America experience and all that graphic illustration, I help people with their marketing in other ways besides photos. So these are actually print ads that I did for someone you might know. Miri and I have done print ads together forever. So print ad marketing is still about all the same. I see you, Rob. Everything about that is true. You need to show up as you. You need to show up in a unique way, and you need to show up consistently. I've done the same for other people you might know. This actually was a photo that I took, which we attached to an ad for a travel agent. And I don't know why Jessica's stuff isn't here. Oh, it jumped way far ahead. That was just for you, Rob. There's Jessica. So, and this is the Tutor Doctor. Again, you can incorporate unique photos or stock photos, or this is actually stuff that the franchise gives her. We just put it together in a different way. Now I'm done. That's all for now. That's me. Yay. Thank you for listening. I talked really, really fast. But that was a little bit of who I am. And hopefully that helped you learn a little bit more about what I do. And I have to ask, does anybody have any questions? It's fun to run my own showcase.
You don't have enough Black people in that photos, but that's okay.
I know. There are, I swear.
I know. That's that East Coast. Not many of us there. I know.
There we go.
Well, you know,
Larry,
there was
gotta
this guy
hire.
that came up from Texas and said I was going to take a picture,
Think
but he
Dave?
didn't let me. I thought about that, Larry, when I put it together last night, because I put it together really quickly. For those of you who don't know, I'm moving, and I don't know how you couldn't know at this point, I'm moving my studio to Allendale right now. So I do not know why I agreed to do my showcase this week, but I did because, you know, when someone asks, you say yes. So I was putting it together last night, and I was like, and I did think about that, Larry. I just didn't act on it. Robert, do you have a question?
Yes.
Just
So
messing with
actually,
you.
it's a two-part question. And it can be either in an individual or a category of individuals. Who's the best that you photograph, and who are the worst that you photograph?
Oh, that would be me, the best.
So
At this
wait, are you
time.
asking
That would
who
be
are my
me, the
favorite
worst.
clients?
Who are the easiest people to work with, and who are the least easy, I guess is.
Well, that's a really tricky question. I think the easiest people to work with are the ones that come in ready to play. So when I talk to people, I always say, we're not working together, we're having a play date. It's so important. I've spent years and years and years, more years than I'm going to tell you, learning how to use a camera and how to take photos. So the mechanics of it, all of that piece, that's just second nature to me. Now it's about focusing on the person on the other side of the camera. The easiest people are the ones that walk in and just want to play with me, because we can create insanely awesome images when people are just willing to be themselves and have a good time and take direction. That is really, really helpful. Difficult people are the ones, it's one of my favorite stories. I had this woman who walked in, and she was lovely. We were having a great conversation. And the minute I stepped behind the camera, she went, and I spend a lot of time educating and working with people on how to look natural in front of the camera and all that stuff. And one of the things I say is, please try not to look like one of the psychotic dolls from a horror movie. And everybody laughs. It's really great. And here's this woman. And I said, no, you can talk to me. It's fine. And she went, I am talking to you. It's great. I'm talking. And would not relax. So that's when it gets difficult, when people really have deep-seated notions of who they have to be in front of a camera. And then it's very difficult to get the kind of photos that I really pride myself in getting for people. Because if you have someone in front of the camera who thinks they have to be a certain way, those are the people who almost traditionally are not happy with their images because they see their images and say, well, why do I look like that? And it's like, because you didn't relax. That doesn't happen often. I don't have those conversations often. And that woman, I was able to get her to break and I was able to get her to be relaxed. It's a challenge of mine. So there you go. I don't know if that answered your question, but that's the best answer I've got for you. Lisa.
I'll make it quick. I just wanted you to know that I too like chocolate, books, and the beach. If you, if you ever need it. But I also, you showed such an array of photography. So what are you still doing, like children's shoots, food, or are you just so focused on headshots? I'd love to know exactly who your current clientele is.
So that was why it was really important to me to show you that, because you see the headshots every week. And Stephanie Bellafato, the lovely president of the Carmel chapter, likes to say I'm the headshot queen, which is great. I love doing headshots, but I do marketing images. So I am someone who focuses on people, but inside that space, when I'm working on your marketing images, if your business is a restaurant, I'm taking pictures of your food. If your business is an accountant, we're going to take pictures of hands working with the paperwork, or you at a computer, or it's going to be about what you do and how you do it. So you can use those inside your marketing to educate the people that are looking at your images. So you'll see that from me. And as far as the kids and the and all that other stuff, my clients, and I've been doing this for almost 17 years now, I get phone calls all the time. Will you do my high school senior? Will you high school senior photo shoot, I should say. Will you work with my daughter? Do not do weddings. I really have stopped doing events, but I do engagement photos for people that I know. They do call me and ask because I do love doing them. So I sneak them in here and there, but I would say a good 85% of what I do is marketing images. So thanks for that, Lisa. And Debbie, we're going to close it out with your question.
Well, I had more of a statement than a question, but I do have to say that I think I was one of those people that were like, geez, I hated photography. Jean, I know everybody here knows this, but she's awesome. She really gets you to do natural pictures. And, I don't know if you're still doing that, but I had brought some young children when you did the Santa thing, and those were beautiful pictures too. So just so talented. And I don't know how you do it because I've never liked a picture. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I am going to turn off the recording.